the Trijicon ACOG TA01 NSN. This is the granddaddy of ACOGs, in my opinion, and many others. This is one of the first ones that's seen a lot of hard use, and this is why, you know, this is kind of the gold standard for hard duty use weapons optics. All right, guys, I don't want to try to sell you on an ACOG here. I got this ACOG, it just happened to fall in my lap, so to speak. Somebody offered it to me in a trade for an optic I wasn't using. I'm like, you know what, sure, I haven't messed with a ACOG in a very, very long time. And now that I've been shooting it for a little bit, again, it's been such a long time since have actually used one of these. I forgot how much I love this. I'm not going to try to sell you on all the features on why you should have one of these or whatever. That's your own decision to make. I think there's plenty of information out there now. It's been out for 30 years or so. This is just a fantastic optic, and I just want to really like highlight how good it is and how timeless it is. And that's really the key thing here. It is still very, very solid piece of kit. Okay, so when I got this, the tritium was a little bit on the dimmer side, not a big deal. Okay, but since it was new to me and I like to keep my stuff nice and tight, I sent it back to Trijicon, called them up, hey, what's the process? They're like, just put it in the mail, send it in, we'll redo the tritium for you. And that's when they told me that they're also going to redo the turrets and the internals as well, which is fantastic. And on top of all that, they're going to redo the warranty. So you get another 10 years, basically the life of the tritium on the inside for your warranty. So if anything was damaged with it, it's going to be fixed. Basically, the only thing that stayed the same was the glass and the case. All right, this one, if you can't tell, this is a red dot. I put it on here. This is something new to me. I've never used one like this when I was using one with a red dot on top. Something new. I'm getting used to it. Playing with it is really high on the, it's just really tall compared to other red dots that I've used, but training can get around that, not a big deal. But since it came with the mount, I'm playing with it. As far as the bottom mount goes, the LaRue Tactical, is it necessary? No, but again, it came in the trade, so I'm using it because this thing is hot. I love it. It's made in America. LaRue, of course, you can't say much bad about them. Just for comparison's sake, here is the one that the Trijicon comes with. If you're not familiar, I think most folks are at this point. It's the big thumb screws, but it clamps down on the rail more or less the same. This one has the lever bits on the backside, the rear one locking. Is it better? It's a little bit slimmer. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. What comes in with the Trijicon with the optic is good to go, in my opinion. Okay, so what did I put it on? I don't know what I'm going to put it on and what I'm going to keep it at, or what gun I'm going to what gun it's going to find its home on. But I did have the SIG M400, which is a 16-inch barrel, and I think that's why I went with it, because I wanted something that is kind of true to what was around at the time of the use of these Trijicons, or these ACOGs, excuse me. So I wanted kind of like the full length deal, outside of going with the whole carry handle bit. But this was close. I don't know if it'll stay on here, probably not. But I'm going to find a good home for it. But this is just for now, for shooting's sake. So I went ahead and got it zeroed up at 100 yards. Pretty good groups. Truth be told, this is like my third time filming this, so I'll insert some groups of what I got with better ammo, and I did it with worse ammo, really big spread out groups. That was that Wolf steel case, and it proves shooting it out here that Wolf steel case is not like the best for getting good hits at distance or tight groups. But the Fiocchi is what I'm using. Really premium stuff, in my opinion. Still not considered match, but really high end. Fiocchi is what I zeroed it with. That's what we're shooting today. And consistent hits at 400 yards, consistent hits at 300 yards, 200 yards. Holds a little different. So yes, the BDC in this is set up for 223.556. And that's, I don't want to say that's a gripe or a complaint, but I would prefer my optics to not have a caliber specific BDC just for the sake of ammo scarcity, right? Like sometimes this is available, sometimes that's available. It doesn't, it's going to be what it's going to be. Also, if you send one of these in to get the tritium redone, one of the options is to get the BDC switched to like 308. If you have a 308 AR10 or something in mind you want to use it on, they'll do that, no extra charge. You just tell them what you want. But yeah, I would prefer not to have it, but this is what I got. And honestly, at 400 yards, I put it on the 400 and it's just hitting. So is it that big of a deal? Probably not. At 400 yards, I think this is doing great. We're going to take it out to 500 and 600 here also. We'll see how it does. If it does decent, I'll put it in the video. If not, I'll leave it out. So where are we at with it? This is a timeless piece of kit, and that's why I think I made the right choice of picking one up. You know, obviously it was a deal that fell in my lap, but this is so cool that, you know, it's just going to be one of those deals. And if you've if you've been around this at all in a work capacity, the silhouette of it, it just kind of, it's a pretty cool thing. I think it's pretty slick looking, and it's longer overdue that I had a gun that has one on there. All right, for a couple of tech specs here. 32 millimeter tube, 4 power, fixed. The biggest complaint people are going to have is the eye relief, and that's at 1.5 inches. Something like your LPVOs, they're going to be closer to the 3.5 inch mark. Adjustment type, this is MOA, and don't be confused that, you know, just as it was used in the military, it's going to be MILRAD. It is MOA. All right, so this is what it looks like at our range today. Set up targets at 2, 3, and 4. Got a spotting scope, little mat, little berm to shoot off of, some bags if we want. Is that 223 or 6.5? So he's shooting the 6.5 out of the AR-10 and different bullets, but this with the ACOG at 4 power compared to a 5x25 EOTech Voodoo, it's keeping up. It's keeping up. So again, a super timeless piece of kit. Everybody should have one. People are going to want to compare it to the one that's got the fiber optic piece over the top, which most people are familiar with. That's the 33, and then the TAO2 is out also, which is a battery powered one. Truth be told, I've never needed an illuminated sight. The crosshairs being etched into the glass are very vibrant. It's very good glass, top-notch glass in my opinion. The having that illumination is it's a bonus, not necessary. I have it in other optics, and rarely do I go ahead and turn it on. But just so you know, there are different setups for that. Again, I don't need to sell you on this because I think everybody's pretty familiar with the Trijicon at this point. So if you have the perfect build, what to put this on, let me know. Let me know. I don't know. This is not the permanent home. It might be, but it's not as of right now. What gun, what kind of setup should I put the Trijicon on, the ACOG here? It's looking like probably a full-length rifle setup, nothing short like a pistol type, 11 inch or 10 inch, 10.5 inch barrels, nothing like that. But let me know, what would be your setup? What would be the perfect setup on this? That'll have to be, I guess, the part 2 to this video here, and that'll be later on down the road. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. We got a spot where we can do 600 yards. Why is 600 yards relevant to the ACOG? Because the bottom notch, in the BDC is at 600 yards. Like I mentioned earlier, it is kind of ammo specific, M885, I think it is. But the ammo I have, it holds just a little bit. Anyway, we got in there. We got some good hits, about, let's say, 50% hits at 600 yards with this. It is, at 600 yards, it does get a little tricky. I mean, you're bringing up the crosshairs, and underneath it gets a little wider at the bottom portion. And you know what I'm talking about if you've ever looked through ACOG. But it ends up covering up the target. So a little bit of Kentucky windage. Either way, you can get hits with this setup at 600 yards, and we did that. Unfortunately, I didn't get any on video, but it's way out there anyway. The 6.5 Creedmoor is what the reason we actually brought it out to 600 yards. We're getting data for that, but that'll be another video coming up soon, the AR-10 and 6.5. But no doubt that this ACOG here is a sweet little piece of kit, and you know, with the way things are going, you might want to start thinking about end of days kind of optics here, and something that doesn't require anything and is bomb proof might be making a resurgence. So pay attention to that.